Just in the Ray Show. It's Just in the Ray Show. Just in the Ray Show.
Yeah, go ahead.
Welcome to Justin and Wade Show. I'm Wade. That's Justin. Today we have Angel here with us.
Hi.
How are you doing, Angel?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. What do you want to talk about today?
Let's talk about the circus.
Ooh, the circus. And tell our two listeners, since one of them is here already, you used to work at the circus, right?
I did. I was one of those people that literally ran away with the circus.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about 20 years old, and the circumstances in my life were just right to, put everything in storage and take off. I didn't have kids. I'm not married. I didn't have a job I was in love with.
Right.
So the circumstances were just right, and I did it. And those 5-6 years were some of the most interesting years of my life, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you do for the circus?
I'm sorry?
What did you do while you were working? What did you work?
Well, I started out in the concessions, and that's a lot of heavy lifting, working in the aisles, like during intermission and selling certain, flash T-shirts, stuff like that. But it didn't take long that I just kind of moved up and became one of the staff members that kind of helped oversee getting, some of the offices set up and backstage certain areas organized. We oversaw the concession office where the money comes in and out. Okay. Yeah, nice. I did that for several years. It was a good start for a bookkeeping background, which wasn't, it's not an interesting job, but I got to go some interesting places.
Yeah. So you
and I would imagine also as a bookkeeper, obviously just like the circus, like you can probably work just about anywhere if you could.
Indeed. Yeah. And I'll tell you, my background, at this point in my life, my background is in inventory management and supply chain. But that comes from a logistics background that I picked up while I was working for Ringling Brothers.
Oh.
The U.S. Army sent some troops out to work and travel with Ringling Brothers for a little while, just to learn and understand the logistics of packing up an entire community and supplies and animals and moving them overnight. I mean, that's
okay.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it was a good place to get a working education for a young person, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, and get to travel the whole time too.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So what?
No, go ahead. Ask your question.
Okay. I'm sorry. Thank you, Wade. I was about to say, did you guys tour every state? Did you get to see every state while you're working for them?
Yes, more than once. Ringling Brothers, when they traveled, the circus will come to town every year, but Ringling Brothers had two units. There was a red unit and a blue unit, and each unit would do a 2-year tour. They would do,
gotcha.
On the East Coast, and all up and down the East Coast. The tour would go, across the Midwest and do, the second year and on the West Coast. So it was, I got to see a lot of cities in the US. Some are forgettable. Others, I had a great time. One of the interesting things is all of the Walt Disney World on Ice shows, if you're familiar with them. Mm-hmm. Well, they're owned by the same company that owned Ringling Brothers. So for a couple of years, I was able to work and travel on the ice shows, and the ice shows did domestic tours, so they would leave the country, and that was a lot of fun. I consider myself very fortunate to have been, in the right place at the right time to be able to do some of that stuff and not have to pay for it, because I would have never been able to go.
Were you ever Mickey on ice? You ever get to be in the, oh,
No, I'm not a performer. No.
I don't know if you like to get
in
the
the
substitute every
background.
once in a while.
I'm
What
better
about
with
you,
the-
Justin? You ever
What?
aspired to be in the circus?
Yeah, I wanted to be a clown when I was younger. And then I found out you had to be a clown. You had to go to clown college for that. So
Oh, you just
that's the
thought
word
you
college got
could
into
be
it.
yourself.
Done.
Well,
So I just aspired to be a clown naturally.
And here you are.
And I've succeeded. I've done great. Done great.
doing great.
So how did you get into working for the circus? Did you just apply? Or
Well,
how did that work?
The circus, when they come to town, the first thing that they do is offload the animals. And that's a whole other conversation. But at the time, that was the process. They would offload the animals and get the animals, to the arena, wherever they were gonna be, so they could be fed and taken care of. And that walk would be, down public streets, and they would be walking from the train where the train was parked to the arena. So it wasn't like miles and miles and miles, but it was a walk. And the public was welcome to just come out and kind of watch, that parade. And I just fell in love with the elephants, and I just got a wild hair, and just found out that they hired locals to work the shows during the time that they were in that city. And if they liked you and you wanted to go, you would be hired on full time to just take off and travel with them. So that's it worked out. It worked out. So
Did you become friends with any of the elephants? You know what I'm saying? Like I know
no,
that it's more of a trainer thing that's probably associated with that, but like since you're there with them all the time also, do you get the interact?
within the show, I mean, between the performers and cast and crew and management team, there was an understanding that the animals were off limits to anyone other than the trainers and the people that take care of the animals. That was their role on the circus. There were safety issues, and there's you just don't want to make a herd of elephants easily accessible to to a bunch of people that aren't trained and don't have any idea, how to navigate an elephant. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, they did. They kept them isolated pretty well from, outsiders. So.
Yeah. That's what I do with Wade. I keep him isolated from outsiders.
I'm actually in the closet back there behind you. That's where
that's where Wade fails, right there.
Like, what? I lost that. I didn't catch that.
What?
I have no idea what you just said.
I said I keep Wade isolated.
Got
He's
it.
actually back there in the closet. That's where Wade is right now filming.
I feel like this conversation just took a weird turn. Wade's in the closet filming. I don't know. What?
Well, it wouldn't be the show if it never took a weird turn.
We promised people sideballs in the beginning. So.
Hey, I'm here for it.
So were you friends with any of the performers, or they wouldn't let you talk to them?
Well, some of them you didn't want to be friendly with. But it was, each show was really a community. You had families, and I mean, you had, generations of families traveling together. You had people who were, clown college educated, they had their, they had their own train car, but
they were probably too haughty-taughty to like hang out with
the clowns. No, the clowns really, well, the low man on the totem pole were the people, not the trainers, but the people who took care of the animals. They carried, they did the dirty work. So their train car was down at the end of the train next to where the animals' train cars were.
Wow.
So
see how much they thought of their clown education.
It never occurred to me until just now. The class the class breakdown, the class structure on a circus is interesting.
Oh, by the train car separates everybody.
Well, there were performers who were, the elite of their craft, and there was often language barriers because there were performers from all over the world. So there, in some ways, even in this community, which makes sense, there were kind of class systems even within the circus community. So
Right.
that's interesting. Yeah.
Well, that's good because that's a good time because that's the end of our show.
Okay.
No,
Thanks,
thanks for being
guys.
here. Yeah,
It
thank
was
you for
fun.
being here. It
All
was
right.
awesome. Like and subscribe, comment, tell us what you think about the circus.